Hello, everyone. Hi, team. I am on live with some of the ladies that went to Leader Summit. Hello, Julie, Marsha, Laura, and Caitlin. Thanks for hopping on. We had several other leaders join us. Oh, Jesse Duncan's joining us right now. We had several ladies there, but not everyone can be on right now to share their takeaways, but we're super excited to share some of ours.
No, we're not.
And just, oh, good, we got more. Aaron's hopping on too. We collectively, we had so much freaking fun, and really, truly, we're not just blowing smoke. We walked away with a lot more confidence in the company and in ourselves because of this Leader Summit. So I'm really glad we went, and we wanted to like portray that. It's really hard to like convey all the things that we learned. And the feelings that we had, but we're going to do our best. So I thought I would go first. And then is there anyone else that needs to go first, like that has to leave soon? Okay.
I mean, the sooner I can go, that would be great, but it's not
Yeah.
like
Okay, you
vital.
go, Caitlin. I know you have another job.
Yeah, I'm technically at work.
Okay, so okay, you want to go now?
Mm, you're fine. I don't have any meetings or anything for a while.
Okay. All right. Well, one of the things that I really, really loved that corporate shared was, and I took so many notes, you guys, and they're all in the wrong places. They're all scattered on different papers and not in together. That's me. But they shared this whole workhorse analogy that I loved, and they mentioned it several times. And one of the things they said was that I thought this was fascinating statistics. They said, did you know that a single draft horse can carry only 8,000 pounds? But they said when you put two together, pulling, the weight and like a carriage or whatever, when you put two together, they can pull up to 24,000 pounds. That's like 3 times what they can do themselves. And that is what corporate is trying to do. They're like, we truly want to work with you and work together and just make it so that we're all like going in the same direction, right? And I just felt that. I really felt that while they were there. They are this, Matt and Brick have been so good at listening to our feedback, um, interviewing so many stylists and getting their thoughts on things. Um and now they're ready. We're all ready to run in the right direction. And so I loved that analogy. And some of my biggest takeaways, well, one of them was that we had Becky Launder speak, who is the CEO of Modern Social Sellers. Is that right? Modern Direct Seller? Modern Direct Seller. And she talked about like being, she talked about her ABCs, and she also showed us a checklist of like daily, weekly, and monthly stuff that we can be doing as leaders. But also I even heard Bob Park at the end, he was like, I love that daily, weekly, monthly. And I'm like, I think that we've got to go back to that simplicity. And corporate has shared this concept of doing, monthly 2 parties a month, and doing, they called it the 10-to-1, where you have 10 guests. You try to book 2 parties from your party and then recruit one person. And they were like, if everybody did this, our business would grow, because what they said was so many of us are focusing on the past. We're trying to work with like an old pool of customers and even teammates that maybe are no longer working. And it's the only way for us to grow our personal business and our teams is with the keyword new. And so we've got to get new customers. We've got to get new stylists. And the way to do that is through the daily, weekly, monthly, but doing those 2 parties a month. And You know what was funny is they were like, I was like so anti in-person. I was like, no, I don't even want to hear what they have to say about in-person sales. Like, it's a hard no for me. And then after they spoke, I was like, okay, you might be right. Like, I felt like a stubborn child. Um, because, and even just talking to some of the other sides, they're like, yeah, I had a 2-hour party. I was talking to, Jen McCann. She's like, I had a 2-hour open house and like sold over $500 in makeup. And that's another thing they said. They're like, 90% of our sales come from the nails. And they're like, because we are not tapping into the makeup. And that's something that I think we could tap into to help us grow and get those new customers and those new stylists if we start really embracing the makeup, trying it. They had a method of it was glow, show, and grow. So you've got to glow by like wearing it, trying it yourself, show it by doing parties, and then grow. That's how you're going to grow your business. And I also, of course, I'm big on virtual stuff too. And so my idea, my way to like make this work to Califrancify this is to do like an in-person party and a virtual party every month. So those were some of my takeaways. I mean, gosh, there were so many. I'll tell you another thing they told us was to ask yourself, what is the number one thing that you could do to grow your business? Um, and what is one barrier to growing your business? That was another thing they talked about, or that Becky Launder talked about a lot, was was taking ownership, really owning your time, owning your numbers, owning what's within your control. Um, and I think that's all we can control, right? Is like ourselves. And so, yeah, the final thing I'll say, because I mean, I could talk for the whole time, but the
Okay,
final
go
thing I'll
ahead.
say was my confidence in the company, in the corporate leaders. And I think that, in the we've had good people in the past, but there's something magical about this new group. They are so professional. They are so experienced. I mean, Greg, the new marketing guy, he was with Nu Skin for 34 years. Like he's been doing network marketing and direct sales for since the 80s. And he like that's been his only job. And he wanted to find a company that he could help grow and really have impact because he's helped that company grow to like a $3 billion company. And he said, this Color Street has good bones. He's like, I'm a loyal person. So it felt like a compliment that it just felt valid that he was going to Color Street of all the places he could go after doing 34 years with Nu Skin. And I'm sure he did his research. And he just was like, yeah, this company has really good bones. And it's like, he's like, we don't have, you know, what do you call it? Where we don't have investors, we don't have like debt, and we have like so much passion and killer products. So it was good to hear that. Plus, everyone fangirled over Edmund, the new tech guy. And Edmund just told it like it was. Like Edmund was like, he's like, he's not even an employee of Color Street. Yeah, he's like a consultant. Um, so he's still like he's just sort of analyzing everything. And he was like,
He was a consultant, but he's the chief technology officer now, but he was a consultant for us, just to be clear.
right. But he's not, I actually talked to him and he's not officially an employee yet.
Oh, okay.
He said
That's cool.
he told Mr. Park, he's like, I want to, make sure you're committed to this, which we know Mr. Park is like 1000%. And he's like, he's like so excited. And he I just love that he's kind of an outsider coming in and giving us like some real talk about numbers and where to go from here. And he showed us like all these slides and literally he got a standing ovation. Everyone was freaking out because he just like said it like it was. And anyway, The new corporate employees, the new corporate leaders have such good synergy. You can just tell they're going to work together like they're going to be workhorses that are working together in the same direction. And it just felt so good. So that is one thing that I felt day after day after day of getting to know these new corporate leaders. And and it wasn't just me. It was so many of these ladies. So with that, I am going to pass it to Caitlin to share her leader summit takeaways.
Thank you, Kelly. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, I am Caitlin Garrett. I'm a gold leader, so I'm new to the leader summit. And I won't lie, I went in not knowing what to expect. I think we've all kind of had a bit of a struggle the last couple of years, just social sales in general, not just Color Street. And so I went in not sure how this is going to go, losing faith in myself, my business. And I came out absolutely mind blown. The connection I felt with everybody, like Kelly said, the powerhouse that we have of a new home office is just mind blowing. And I'm so excited to see where this goes. My biggest takeaways, though, if you guys know me, you know that I am a very busy individual. I work 6 to 7 days a week. I have a full-time job. I co-own a business with my mother, and I do Color Street, and I have a 15, almost 16-year-old daughter. So my life is always go, go, go. And the thing that is the most precious to me is my time. Something that I have really struggled with in this business is not applying that time, that precious commodity, to the right areas. And something that was said at conference that really struck home for me was get rid of the 80% that is not serving you and double down on the 20%. Um, when I heard that, it was like chills down my body, light bulb in the head. And I was like, oh my gosh, how much energy do I give to things that are clearly not giving me results? The same methods are just, I think, oh, tried and true, but another thing they said was what got us here is not what's going to get us there. So for me, it was like, okay, so what I've been doing that's clearly not working, or I wouldn't feel the way I feel in my business, is not it. I need to trash that 80%. And now I got to find that 20, and I really got to double down on it. So that's where the connections come in. I will not lie. I take accountability and ownership in the fact that I am not good at maintaining the connections. I will start them, but I don't maintain. So if I can encourage you guys to do anything, it's that. Find the 80% that's not serving you, set it aside, focus on the 20, find the 20, and then focus on that. And building connections is probably one of the most important of the 20%. And then getting back to the fun. I feel like that we've lost that a lot. And that was something they definitely mentioned over and over at Summit, was just, we got to get back to the fun. This was that was the reason I did it. I mean, your why changes, yes, and I started for other reasons, but really the reason I stuck around was the fun, the people that I've met, the friendships that I've made, and just the enjoyment of it. So again, get back to the fun, guys. Don't If you make it, what's the word I'm looking for? If you make it something that is forced, if you make it something that is like, ugh, I gotta do this, you're not gonna be successful in it, because you're just gonna put in that bare minimum effort. So find the fun, find your why again, and get back into it. And I really feel like that's what Summit did for me. Um, it brought me back to doing my content again and finding myself. I think that fear gets in the way for all of us, fear of rejection, fear of failure. And that's something that they also pressed to us, was find those fears. They did such a neat activity, and honestly brought tears to my eyes at the table. And it was very heartwarming and overwhelming at the same time. But they had us write our fears on these little dissolvable squares of paper. And then we all went up to these big bowls of water and literally dissolved our fears in the water. And I'm still getting a little choked up thinking about it because it was so profound to take that and go, okay, this is what I've been scared of. This is what's been holding me back. And now I'm literally throwing it away and I'm going to dissolve it. So again, guys, don't let those fears hold you back. Find what it is that is going to build your business and double down on it and let go of that 80% that's holding you back, that those fears and the things that are not serving you. So I know I just went off on like 10 different tangents, so I apologize. I'm very
That was
ADHD
great.
brain.
Thank you so much,
But
Caitlin.
yes, that's what I can say is that's what I took away.
Awesome. Okay, Jesse Duncan's gonna go next.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about the very beginning. My child hopped on and I think she responded to something you said as far as not being excited, and that couldn't be as far from the truth right now. I have been to many leader summits and I feel like this one had such a different vibe. And I'll agree with you, Kelly, when you're talking about the corporate team, how amazing they were. I feel like it was not a one-man show, which I feel like we've had a lot in the past. You could definitely tell everybody was working together. And what I think hit home for me mostly on this leader summit was it wasn't like they were just spewing new product launches and timelines to us to kind of like hide the elephant in the room, which was like, what's not working? Like,
Yeah.
I don't care about what's new. I want to make this work now. And they actually sat there and kind of, I don't want to say like they've done anything wrong, but maybe like admitted to not rolling things out the way that was best for all of us as far as like the compensation plan and stuff. I personally used to know the original compensation plan, like the backup, like I knew it in my sleep. This one, I'm still confused to this day. And they actually put up 3 different slides that I feel like were the most important things I have seen regarding the compensation plan to this day, basically showing someone, a new stylist or a current stylist, what they need to do in the first 3 months. And honestly, that right there, I was like, goosebumps. That is what I'm going to be talking about to my new people, to my potentials. Like, this is where the gold is at. Like, I can be the first to admit that I've been stuck in sales mode for years. And I have busted my butt and been treading water, doing bulk orders, making order forms, hiding behind my computer, making graphics. And I saw those 3 slides and the income comparison too, when they showed examples of actual incomes of people sitting in the room and how much percentage came from personal sales, how much percentage came from team sales. And I was like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And I had already been on this kind of business revamp plan since the beginning of the year of getting away from the bulk orders because I'm losing money. Let's be honest. I love doing it. I love packing and spoiling my people, but it's not sustainable. I'm gonna take it out here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just like, that is what I needed to hear. Like the amount of work that you'd have to put in as opposed to like sharing and having people working together compared to doing it by yourself was insane. And I'm like, if we all had this fire together and that's what we actually spread, we can just go so much further. And I have to just say, Amanda Simon recommended this book. I'm not a reader. I picked it up last night, and again, things just keep like smacking me in the face. Like, this is it. This is our sign. Like, we need to change our ways. Everything we did before isn't working, but this book, The Business of the 21st Century, basically was talking about how the ways of the past, like the corporate world and stuff, like it's not working anymore. So why are we just sitting there, like letting things happen and not doing anything about it? And one of the things that I loved the most that it said it said that all people are entrepreneurs, but many don't have the opportunity to find that out. And I was like, it's so true. Like so many of us had no clue that we could do something like this.
Yeah.
And look at us now. And then our jobs need to be showing people the opportunity and that they can actually do this too. And it doesn't have to be hard.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know. I'm just fired up. It was a great experience and I could
It
spew on
was.
for hours, but I have to take my munchkin to school. So
Yeah. No, and thank you so much, Jesse. And they just showed us that it was duplicable through
yes.
those 3 slides, which I'll post here in Team Nailed It. And through the, doing 2 parties and bringing 2 friends along with you when you sign up. And throughout and every month, it's that simple. It's that simple. Do 2 parties. Like,
Yes. And I will say too, yesterday or on spring launch day, I made myself not do the bulk order form, not do the graphics and all the stuff that I've done every single launch. And I went out in public and I just had conversations with people and not one person had heard of Color Street. And I put nails on people and this lady was literally dancing in the middle of the aisle of Hobby Lobby. And she was like, what? She was so excited to tell her friend about it. And I was like, this is where it's at. Like, why
yes.
have I been hiding from this for so long? So
Yeah, that reminds me, like, that's the power of in person. I mean, literally, we were all in person together and it was so powerful. And that's what got me opening my little heart, my little Grinch heart about in-person parties. Cause I'm like, everything's better in person. It just is. So like you said, showing it in person in the aisles of Hobby Lobby. I love that you did that, Jesse. And then, but like showing it at, having open houses, having like lunch dates, having those like fun pop-ups or whatever is like just something we need to get back to. Just to make it fun, like Caitlin said. So thank you so much for sharing, Jesse.
oh,
And
thanks for having me.
I'll let you go get your kid now.
Sorry.
Can I just
Okay.
say real quick, Jesse,
Yeah.
that I love that you said like you went out there and nobody knew about Color Street. Like that is the power of the product we have, guys. It is still so new to people. And I think we get the argument a lot that like, oh, it's such a saturated market and oh, where would I find customers? Everybody already has Color Street stylists. But like when I heard that there were only 30,000 active stylists currently, guys, there are millions of women in the world or in the country that we have access to. And there's only 30,000 stylists. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I love that she said that.
Yes. And there's so many even current customers and current stylists that have never tried the makeup that we're all losing our minds over. Like the more I had someone say, I don't even recognize you. You look so different. I know part of it is my hair, but I'm like, also part of it is my makeup. Like my makeup game has gone up 1,000%. Like, and I think it's changed my look for the better. So the makeup is a big game changer too. Okay, Laura, your turn, girl.
Thanks. I really wanted to go next because some of my thoughts were like the opposite of Jesse's, and not in a way that it's like I disagree, but just like my experience in the last year. Now, before that, I was way more focused on sales, but in the last year, I have deliberately poured myself into creating systems to support the team that I already have. And because I felt like I had been neglecting that. Okay. So I spent the last year doing that. And I came away with, okay, you've done that. And I don't regret that, but your personal business has suffered. And I'm going to be much more effective as a leader simply by running my personal business and then quickly sharing what's working with the people that I'm leading. And that's what needs to happen now. And I feel like we do go through seasons where we are more capable of doing certain things than others. And there was a part of my life where emotionally I was in a really bad place. And so focusing on my personal sales was what I needed for myself. And it was just too hard to try to be super involved with a bunch of other people. So I was very focused on my own little bubble. And then there was a season of my life where I needed to do that more. And so we go through these ups and downs, and we need to recognize when we need to course correct a little bit. And so when Kelly went live and Team Nailed It, and her, I think it was like 8.5-minute video that I watched 10 times, echoed so many of my feelings about how I need to lead myself. And that was how I was feeling too. I need to lead myself. I need to get back to, I love sales, and I just kind of let them go. And my sales have steadily declined. And so I've been doing good things and been busy and spending time, but I need to go back to the things that I need to be doing to keep my business strong so that I can be here for a long time, and that it's, still going to be viable. One of the, I just had to share that because of how it related to what Jessie said. But I highlighted a bunch of stuff, and then I started unhighlighting things as people said them so that I could try to share different things. But let's see. Becky Launder was amazing, and she talked about, someone already said, what got you here won't get you there, which is something we've been stuck in a lot, especially those of us that have been here a while. And when you talk about that 30,000, I would submit that it's probably higher. Like, there's probably a high percentage of people that have been here a long time. I think probably the people that came in 2020 when it was crazy, those are probably the ones that have dwindled, right? So a lot of us have been here a while. A lot of us have a lot of history. A lot of us have things that used to work that maybe aren't anymore. And so she said, we need new beliefs. And so she gave us some example of new beliefs. And one of them was, my team is out there waiting for me. And I liked that. She also said, I've done it before. I can do it again. Maybe not the same way, but I can do it again. I am the right person to be leading my team, and I can achieve the goals I set. And I need to work more at those daily affirmations, because I haven't always bought into affirmations as much as like Kelly has, but I need to be better about saying those things out loud, because I think I will believe them if I continue to say them. And I really think a lot of what this year has lacked for me is belief. Not just, I am pretty confident that I have the power to make things happen. I have had very little belief in corporate, which the silver lining of that is that I have started to stop looking to corporate to solve all my problems. And I've started to say, okay, what can I do? Because we don't need corporate. We can do this by ourselves. We did this by ourselves before without a lot of resources. And now I get to back that up with, okay, maybe I can rely on corporate a little bit. I still want to keep the mindset of taking ownership for my journey and for all the creative parts of my business. But maybe I can rely on corporate. Maybe I can trust them a little bit. And, I'm cautious because I echo everything Kelly said in that video. I was feeling a lack of trust and feeling instability, because it's not like corporate can explain to us every time someone leaves why they're leaving. They just can't. And so I was starting to feel some instability, and I know a lot of people were, but I went to this conference and I felt in the air the chemistry. A year ago at Leader Summit, I could feel tension in the air, and it's hard to describe exactly what moment that happened, but I felt tension. And this time I felt cohesion and chemistry. And sometimes, even if you have a really great group of employees, even if they've got all these great things that they're bringing to the table, sometimes the chemistry just isn't there. And I think that was the truth with a lot of what we had. And so I'm not saying that anyone that did leave in the last year was like causing any problems or was like the weak link or anything like that. But I think that we just didn't have chemistry and focus on a vision that everyone kind of was bought into. And so I came away feeling that. I felt it's just a feeling you can't always describe in like evidence. I can't really show you all the evidence, but I can tell you that I didn't feel it then and I do feel it now.
Yeah, yes. Same girl, same. I feel like everybody did. It wasn't just me. That's how you know. It wasn't just like one person. It was like we're kind of checking in, like, are you feeling it? I'm feeling it. Is like everybody was feeling that. And I'm glad you mentioned, and Caitlin also mentioned like the mindset piece. I think that's one thing. We all have a story we're telling ourselves, and we have to overcome that through personal development, through affirmations, through, even acknowledging what your fear is, like writing it down. What is your fear? What is it? And then how can you work through that? Because you've got a limiting belief that's getting in your way. And I did too. And now I'm working through it, and it's amazing what happens when you let those things go. Okay, we're gonna let Julie go next. Julie, take it away.
Okay. So, I remember I was very honestly nervous to go to Leader Summit because, like Laura mentioned last year, really wasn't great. Okay. And in past years, they have been so fantastic. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to set my expectations super low and I'm going to go with an open mind. And I had a conversation with Kelly and Rachel after their gemstone day. And I was like, so tell me the truth. Like, how are you feeling? And they were both like, oh my gosh, so I'm feeling so good. And I'm like, okay. So then we had our, our, I don't know, gold executive or whatever meeting. And it was like the instant we walked in there, you could feel the difference from the year prior. And I know that like people are like, well, try to explain it. And I'm like, I don't know. I can't explain it. It's a feeling. And I wish I could explain it because it would be so much easier to share it with everybody. But okay, so my biggest things that I took away is that I need to embrace new more. I've been a stylist for almost 6 years. And so I got a little set in my ways. And I was like putting my foot down when it came to like in-home parties and other things. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I run my business online. And it was just like kind of cool to see like the chains come off, like, okay, maybe I need to just embrace this and it won't be as bad as I'm imagining in my head. Also with eyeliner, seriously, when I found out that it was eyeliner, I was like, for real? Like, I don't wear eyeliner. I don't.
Yeah, you
like,
you were not.
I was
using
not.
eyeliner.
Yeah, I told Kelly, I was like, I told Tiffany, who I was rooming with, I'm like, I'm not even going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it. I was so stubborn, you guys, so stubborn about it. I'm like, I'm not even going to try it. I'm not going to buy it. And I was like reminding myself of like teammates in the past who, when we announced makeup, were like, I'm not doing it. And I'm like, here I am, like really putting my foot down. And then, like everything else that Color Street puts out, I decided to try it. And I'm like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. But like my sister said, you could put it in the waterline. And Eunice said that it was safe for the waterline, which I didn't realize was a thing because in the past, it would just burn my eyes. So I was like, I don't need this. It's fine. I still don't know how to really put it on my eyelid, but I have embraced the eyeliner for my waterline. And you know what? I realized I like kind of teased it out inside of my team page and I teased it out on my personal page and I asked if people could tell the difference. And then I was shocked by how many people were excited about eyeliner. And if I would have said and told myself, I'm not doing this, I'm going to miss out on all these people who are actually excited for this product. Why am I making that kind of choice for someone else if that's just what I think? So I was like, I'm going to embrace it. So it was kind of cool the whole weekend to kind of see myself like change too. Like I'm going to start embracing the new things and like stop talking crap on myself. Because all I like Tiffany and I had a conversation and it's so cool to have your roommates because you end up bouncing ideas off of each other. But
Yeah.
we were like, man, we're speaking into existence all this negative. We're like, it's not going well. It's not doing it. This is not working. Like, I don't like makeup. Like, I don't like eyeliner. And all we're doing is just confirming to our brain that it's not going to work. So why there's no space for any kind of positive inside of that negative mindset. And I have always prided myself on having a positive mindset. And in the last few months, especially, I've seen like it go to crap. And so that's just one little plug for personal development, because that used to be what I preached all the time. And I have to take my own advice and say, like, it's me. So that's why everything I was saying on social media since conference is like, I'm the problem. This is me. This is like, I have to take ownership for the way that I have let and allowed my mind to be. So anyway, going back to embracing new eyeliner, and now I'm obsessed. I think it's so fun. It's so cool. I do the upper and the lower waterline and push it out with a brush. Anyway, I still don't really know what I'm doing, but people are excited about it. Why? Because I am actually excited about it, and I was honest that I was nervous about it.
Yeah.
And then in home
That
parties,
eyeliner trick, by the way, before you move on,
Yeah.
is a game changer. I did not know you could do the water line on your upper lid.
yeah,
And I've been doing it too. And I'm like, okay, it also makes your lashes look more full and
yes.
it's not as
It's called
dramatic.
tight lining.
Tight lining.
But
Okay.
and the first time I tried it, I was like, this is hard. But if you just like, I know it's like awkward, but like if you lift up your eye, it's so much easier to just put it on there. And even if you don't put any liner on the bottom at all, if you just do that, it kind of like naturally goes to the bottom. I'm just telling you guys, you have to, if you're feeling like I did, you have to embrace it and do it on the upper, because it really does make your lashes look fuller without even having to put any on the top. So
Yeah.
anyway, really
Game
cool. So in home parties, I was telling myself all these excuses of why it wasn't going to work for me, because I just moved from California to Texas. I don't really know that many people. And then when I flipped to my mindset, I'm like, you know what? I have a whole table of new people at my women's Bible study that don't know about this. And I talked to them yesterday. They said, what did you do? I showed them the nail polish. Every single one at the table was like, oh, I've never heard of that. They're like, oh, that would be fun. Let's try that. I'm like, hello, I can have all these ladies over. We can just have a mani party. And I don't know. It's just like, once you can flip your mindset and say, why not? Like, let's just try it. Why not? Like, it makes you open to like all these other possibilities instead of just being closed down.
Yes.
Like, and nothing can get past that like closed mindset. So,
Yeah.
and
I
then
gotta
the
show
other
a
thing,
visual regarding what you said.
Yeah.
Like, if your hands are closed-fisted, if your heart is closed-minded like this, you are not open to receiving more. You're having that scarcity mindset. You have to
Yeah.
have that open mindset. That's how you are able to give more and get more. But when we're like this, we're stuck. We're not getting anything and we're not giving anything.
yeah, it's so true. I mean, I don't even think I intentionally even said during this, like, okay, fine, I'm just going to embrace it. But like, I could feel my mindset changing the whole
Yeah.
weekend.
Mhm.
And then coming home, I'm like, just taking a couple days to process. And like, it is exhausting going to these leader summits, because it's your brain, like you're working your brain the whole time. So
Mhm.
anyway, all that to say, I am going to embrace the home party, and maybe it could be better. Like, I understand what they mean by like, you can get in front of way more people, which used to be true about virtual parties.
Yeah.
It's not as much. And so like, I'm going to embrace that. I haven't exactly figured out a timing and dates and all of that stuff, but I want to try.
Yeah.
My goal is one month. We'll see.
Yeah. Old is new again, like Laura said. I was
Yes.
thinking the same thing. The old stuff is now new again.
Yeah. Which I was like, I'm like, what are we, Mary Kay? Like, I was like, I mean, I'm telling you, I was not about it. I was like mad about it. Like, I did not want to embrace it. And then they started sharing things, and I'm like, well, crap, they're kind of right. Like, I need to just embrace this. So
But
it
it's
was
like
like,
only 2 hours. Like, if you think about it, it's only 2 hours. You're getting to talk to women and have like a lot of fun and girl time. And it's instead of babysitting a whole Facebook party for a week long, and just like how messy it is to do all that.
yeah.
It just feels way easier to be like, I show up for 2 hours, I do the thing, and I'm done.
Yeah, and not having to take your entire, like, I think it was overwhelming to me, like thinking, well, I have so much nail sets, like, what am I can't bring all this. But they're like, bring your kit. I'm like, why haven't I have not thought of that. Like, it doesn't have to be this huge amount of things. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was very against it, and now I'm kind of like, okay, well, I think this could work, and I won't want to claw my eyes out because there's no engagement on virtually,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
People
just
come
shared
to
it in the
in-home things
chat.
knowing they want to pay. What?
I just shared it in the chat, but I wanted to say it out here because this might help others too. But Julie, a good idea because you said you're new, like relatively new to the area. One of the stylists on Happy Camper Crew had seen that I had done like a open house at my bar. And so she took that idea and just ran with it. And she lives in like an HOA community. And she basically utilized that as her customer pool. So she she got with another vendor that does wine. And they hosted like a little wine tasting makeup and Manny's open house in her home and used her like HOA's Facebook page to invite everybody in her community. And she had a huge turnout and massive success and gained a ton of new customers. So I don't know if you're in a neighborhood or a community like that, but maybe that would be a good way to get even more people. I know you said you have your Bible study group, which is amazing. But that's just another idea. And for others out there that live in those types of communities, good way to get a new customer pool. Shout out to Sharon because she did amazing with that.
Well, yeah. And
Yeah.
Kate, you said you did a party and you sold 800. Erin said she did a party recently, sold 900. I mean, come on now. That means like if you're getting those kind of numbers, like you can work once a month,
I
for
know.
2 hours, like, or more if you want more in sales. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy.
I think we're making it all like that was another takeaway is we're making this all so complicated because
Yeah.
in the beginning we were so excited and we just talked about it and everything came so easily. And so we thought, oh, we would like in the beginning, I would do something, it would work, I would share it with my team, it would work for them, and we would just move on and we kept doing it. And then we got into like the murky waters of 2023 and things weren't working in the same way. And so we were just like, well, I don't really even know what works. So I guess I'm just going to keep posting in my VIP group and hoping that my VIPs will sustain this. And then now I'm like, well, I have no idea if in-home's going to work, but like, what do I have to lose? Like, why not just like give it a little bit of a chance,
Yeah. And
but
I
like
think one
focusing
more
on
thing,
us.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. And one more thing that I had to change my mindset is I was like, I've already like done parties with my friends. And so I'm like, I don't want to spam my friends again and be like, hey guys, well, you don't know. But I was like, I can do open houses. I can do, where I
Yeah.
invite people to my house, or I can collaborate. I'm collaborating with another direct seller who's not in competition with Color Street, and we're doing a party together. And or you can like, I know other people who do pop-ups at like local, boutiques or whatever. Like there's so many different ways to do it instead of just like having a friend host at their house.
Yeah. Agree. The other thing I wanted to say is that Mr. Park told us that he has not taken a salary for 18 months. And when I heard that, my jaw was literally on the floor. I was like, what? He believes,
I
and let me
know.
clarify, it's not because he's scared of the income. Okay. He's not scared that we don't have enough income to pay all the people. That was not the reason. The reason was he believes in this so much. He wants to see this flourish. So he's willing to put his own money into it to make it work. And I'm like, to me, that was like, if you have any kind of doubt that Mr. Park is not in this for the long haul, he's not taking a salary, guys. He's not taking any money that comes in.
Yeah.
So if that, like, if there's any sort of fear that you might have had, he is in this for the long haul. And he kept coming up and sharing that, like
Yeah.
he's not going to stray from his vision. So,
Well, and he's like, I think he said he had Ulta offer him like millions recently, and he
yeah.
turned him. He could like, it's like he's in this. He has like the long game in mind.
Yeah.
He wants us to succeed. That's his mission. So he's so mission driven. I literally have chills right now. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, have you ever been? I mean, he had to have that kind of vision to even get it started. And now he's having to dig deep. And so he's like, look, I already did that. I already like have the mindset work. Like, I've already done this. Like, I have already proven that I can put all my eggs in this basket. And now he's not even trying to take the easy way out when he could take the easy way out.
No.
He's not. Like, so anyway, it was very, I mean, he's very motivational no matter what comes out of his mouth. But that was just like, I don't even think he meant to say it. He just spewed it just like in true Fa fashion. He just like spewed it out. And then we were all just like, what? So anyway,
Yeah.
I think that I could talk for hours, but
No,
I'll just
we all
let someone else talk.
We all could. And Laura mentioned in the chat how he said, sometimes no opportunity is an opportunity. Like sometimes that the like digging down is what we need to like take us to the next level. And how he kept talking about his biggest win was the ordering a Big Mac and fry when he first moved to America, and how that was such a big win. And it's like, we
Yeah.
need to focus on those small wins. It's the small wins that give us the momentum, give us the confidence to move, keep going, keep
Yeah.
moving forward, and start feeling our fire again. Okay, Ashley, are you ready?
Yeah, you literally took the words right out of my mouth. It's funny because I came back and I told my team, I was like, I'm gonna do takeaways in 5 minutes or less. And I really tried, and I was talking for 40 minutes. But so yeah, I was like narrowing it down. I'm like, what takeaways have not been talked about yet? And that's what I was gonna say is when Bob talked about how every step forward is still a success, even if it's a small success. I think sometimes we get stuck or demotivated or down on ourselves if we're not seeing the wins that we want to in the time frame that we were hoping to, and just remembering that, you know, every step forward is still a success. And so I came back, I had a Zoom with like a few of my teammates that are, you know, setting big goals this year. And, you know, we talked about like what are we going to do right now? Small successes that we can do to take charge of our business. And I literally hopped off that Zoom and I booked a party with a brand new hostess because I was like, I need new. Like, I'm not going to be reaching out to these people that have hosted for me 2, 3, 4 times, even though I love them. Like, I need new. I went live in my VIP group and I tried to use the tactic that I've been like watching where you say like, drop the word blank if you want more info about the sub box, drop the word March if you want to learn what the March theme is, and like to try to get more people commenting on my lives. I've been going live with the sub boxes for a while, but just trying to like use those tactics to like boost the algorithms. And I had a new subscriber last night. And so I was just like, okay, like,
Yay.
I'm not necessarily like seeing like maybe the sales I want yet, or the rank advance yet, or getting closer to where I want to be yet, but they were both small wins that I know will like fuel my business forward, that will keep me like moving in the direction that I want to go. And the other biggest thing that I think was already mentioned is that like, you know, what got us here is not going to get us there. Like, there's still so much that I want to do with this business. There's still like, you know, like I feel like I'm just getting started, even though I've been here almost 6 years. So it's like, you know, my story's not done, and I'm, you know, excited to like grow and change, even if that means partying a different way, learning new, you know, social media methods, like whatever it is, because if we are not changing, we are not growing. And it's so important to continue to grow, because this business is not the same that it once was. We are not the same people that we were before 2020. Like, everyone's lives have changed, our business have changed, you know, how people want to gather has changed. And it's just so important for us to like change and grow, you know, and stop feeling stuck in like, well, I used to do this, why isn't it working? Well, if it's not working, stop doing it, you know, like
Yes.
move on. look to the future.
Yes. Oh, I love that. So well said. And focusing on those small wins, man. They are exciting because you're like, oh my gosh, I got this. I got
I
this
know, I was
reaction.
pumped.
I
As soon
got
as she
this.
said she was registering, I was like checking my VO. I just wanted to like see that name in the subscriptions. And I was like, I did it. I did it. Like it was my first new subscriber in like 2 or 3 months. So I was like, this is awesome, you know? And it just
Yeah.
makes me wanna go out there and get another one. So find
Yeah.
something that you can have a small win with today that'll like pump you up and just make you want to do it again and again.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Becky Launder talked about was belief plus action. And I think the way to get out of your head is to get into your body and take action. Like, do something about it. Stop thinking about it. Just do something. Okay, we got Marcia, then Erin.
Excuse me. And so the biggest takeaway I had was to not work our businesses from launch to launch. And I feel like that's kind of the mode we've gotten in. It's like, okay, well, what's the next thing they're going to launch? And that's what I'll be promoting. But
Yes.
I've been part of Becky Launder's Academy, and something she had talked about a couple weeks before. And then she talked again this weekend about planning your month. So before January was over, I already had a plan for what am I going to do in February, and whatever the company happens to launch in the middle of February is just extra. It's like sprinkles on the cake because I already had a plan. And so that's something that I've been working on. I've actually penciled out a plan for the year. I have a monthly focus for each month, and how am I going to work in whatever products happen to come along the way into that month. And so that was my biggest takeaway, was that checklist that she gave us, and working on, these are things I do daily, these are things I do weekly, and this is all plays into my monthly plan.
Yes, amen. Because I mean, that's what we did in the beginning. Like, we were not waiting around for the next launch. We were just selling whatever we had.
Yeah.
You know, because we were doing parties, and because we are a party plan business. And so
We didn't even
I
have a launch from June
No,
until October was the first
We
time we had a
didn't.
launch. We didn't get to rely on them bringing stuff to us. And we had flourishing, growing, successful businesses.
Yeah.
I
Then when we
joined in
finally got a
2020.
new catalog, and we were like, oh my gosh, new sets, what?
yeah,
I
it was
joined
like
in
a bonus.
2020 when there were 2 sets on the website, and it was both Easter. And that was all my customers had to choose from. And I still made it work. My first month, I blew past any goal that I thought like I was setting for myself. So if you want it to work, you'll find a way to make it work. And it doesn't have to be launch to launch.
Yeah. Well, and that's how you simplify it, like you're saying, Marcia, is if you already have your plan, your monthly plan, or even if you're not as organized as Marcia, aka me, and you even if you're like, well, all I have to do is 2 parties. And for me, I'm also doing the ABCs every day. It's the ask for the sale, build relationships, create content. If you're doing those basic things, I mean, you legit can check out. Like, you don't need to like know every detail of every little launch, of every little update. You can just do the work and you're good. And wouldn't it be amazing if that's all we focused on? Our teams and our sales and our customers would grow. It's that simple. So yeah, good reminder, Marcia. Thank you so much. Okay, Erin, wrap us up, girl. And I'm
Okay,
sorry that you
so
have,
many things have been picked through.
I
And
know.
it's which is totally okay because it's interesting that all of us have had different reactions. I will be completely real with y'all. When a new year starts, I tend to drop into depression, have struggles with anxiety. I overthink all of my goals in my entire life, and I'm ready to throw it all in the garbage because I'm like, why? And then when I go to these big conferences, I'm usually kind of drop into those things for a couple of days because it's information overload and so much, and I start feeling this pressure and I start having anxiety and I panic and I am sick and all the things. I think I told Laura a dozen times my stomach hurts so bad, like those first couple of days. And I know that this is how my body reacts to it, right? Like it's me just trying to process all this information. And so one of the things that stuck out with me, you know, I got through those first couple of days and now I'm like, okay, Erin, you can do this. And so any of you out there that are like, I deal with a lot of these things, you're not alone. And somehow, like, I got to the top of the company. I was in the highest rank of the old compensation plan. It's not now, but like, despite all of those struggles that I have, so we can empathize with you, and we a lot of us know how you feel. Like, I mean, there's these 6 different women here. We've had a couple of ladies. Like, we have all had completely different reactions to this, and that is normal, right? So, one of the things that really stuck out to me, because it's been an important piece of my business in the past, is our stories. And are we sharing our stories, and are we sharing our experiences? And one thing that Victoria Fain said, she said, we want people to feel like they want to wear our products. So if you're just like, and I'm totally stuck in this where I just post out there, hey, look what's coming, and I'm sharing the nail sets, but I'm not like helping my customers experience that. And that was something that people used to consistently compliment me on, was, oh my gosh, you are such a good storyteller. Like, you share something and I want to be a part of it. And I've really gotten away from that, because I've also felt like maybe my story isn't as compelling because I've been sharing it for, you know, I joined with the company before we launched. And so, but absolutely, I still have a story to tell. I still have 5 kids. They're all growing up. I'm losing my mind. My husband travels for work. Like, so many different things and aspects of my life are relatable to other people in one way or another. But if I'm not sharing it, I'm taking away the opportunity for them to relate to me and to see how what I have to offer can bless them. And one of the things that I think it was a quote that Darlington shared. I love his last name, but
Greg
it says,
Darlington.
we are more than just color. We are the power to dream, the ability to provide healing, and the chance to rise above. And I didn't take a lot of notes because I like to try to be in the moment, but I wrote that down because it really like resonated in my mind. And also when he talked about our mission statement as a company, and I don't think I wrote it down because it was a little bit longer. But he said, no, I'm not gonna be able to find it because I also just would
I
open.
pulled out a couple of the main parts if you can't find it.
I'm trying. Oh, the tagline is "Express yourself in full color." We're here to make the color street difference. And so we'll have to share that mission statement if you want to say it, Laura, if you have it there. I just was like, oh my gosh, yes, yes, yes. Like, this is like, I've almost felt like one of the reasons I'm struggling is I've kind of lost where I am. Like, what am I doing? Like, I'm sharing nails, okay. I'm sharing makeup, okay, but like, why? Why am I doing this? And it's not even just about my own personal why, but just like, I just needed to have a purpose and a goal, and they provided that for us. So Laura, if you have it there, you can.
I'm just cracking up because in the Zoom chat, I was like, oh crap, nobody's talked about Greg and the tagline. And I doubt you saw that because you were talking and you totally started talking about it. I'm like, oh, me and Erin, we're connected. But I can't believe after 6.5 years that Color Street has not had a mission statement, like an actual, because that's a total like corporate, like that's what companies do. And now we do. And I just think that's one more testament to why we needed to bring in someone like Greg. But he did. There was a beautiful mission statement, and I could only write as fast. I mean, I think they sent the slides so I could go get the whole thing. But some of the excerpts was, one brilliant idea can change everything. Another was, we empower beauty lovers around the globe. So that's a mission that we want. Revolutionize the beauty industry. So all of these things apply to nails, but they're very open-ended and allow us to add more products. And then it said, in-home beauty solutions for anyone, anywhere, anytime. And then there was a part that said, at the heart of what we do. So all of those excerpts, like there's a whole mission statement that ties all that together, but those were some of the things that I pulled out.
Will you post that in Team Nailed It, like the mission statement? Do you have the picture?
Well, he said he was going to send the slides. So I bet you somebody took a picture. I don't take pictures of screens. I just
Erin,
don't,
did you
'cause
take a
so many
picture?
people
I
do.
think I have it, but I'm also posting something else, the
I'm
Jesse's
looking right
slides.
now to see.
If not,
swear I
if not,
took a
I'll do it.
picture, but
I didn't because they said we were getting the slides and I knew anything I took was going
Do
to
you
be
know
poor
if we got
quality.
them
I
yet?
found it.
So
I found it. I found it. Okay.
You found it. Great.
Our
great.
mission at Color Street, we believe one brilliant idea can change everything. Our revolutionary patented real nail polish strips and ever expanding line of premium beauty products empower beauty lovers around the globe and inspire a community of independent stylists to express themselves in full color. And our vision is to revolutionize the beauty industry with innovative category creating products that solidify Color Street as the leader of in-home beauty solutions for anyone, anywhere, anytime.
Nice. Plus, he also said his mission was to empower women to transform lives, which I freaking loved that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So good
Absolutely.
reminder, good reminder.
So tell your story. You have something to share. There's a way that you can connect with people. You may feel like you don't have something to offer, but I promise you there's someone out there who is in your shoes, who is looking for an opportunity, who is looking for that. Like, I think it was Laura said, our team is out there waiting for us. They just don't know that they want to be a part of it. And when I joined Color Street, I definitely was not looking for anything. As far as a business was concerned, I was busy. I didn't have time for it. And when something when it matters to you and you like if you share your story, someone's gonna see why it matters and they're gonna be that much more inclined to want to join you and be a part of this process. So it says capture what you're already doing, reuse your old content, and then teach your team to do it too. So what you're doing matters, makes a difference, and find new.
Thanks,
That one's stuck out
girl.
to me.
Okay, well, thank you everyone so much for sharing your takeaways, and thanks everyone. Thank you for listening. We hope this helped you to get just a sliver of the vibe and the excitement that we had in person at Leader Summit. And we'll see you next time. Bye.